dreamers, and welcome back to PERLA'S Dreams. Leo, Virgo, Cusp, this is your reading. And again, guys, just a quick reminders, these are general readings. So just take whatever resonates and please leave the rest. The intention is always set that these readings are to help with your own evolution and inner growth. Now, with that being said, Leo, Virgo, cusp, babies. I need to say it like that because there is this sense of like, during this time, really being misunderstood. There seems to be this energy of like miscommunication, with those that you are engaging with, whether this is romantically or platonic. As I always say, it's quite irrelevant. The energy is not biased, let's put it that way. But there seems to be this ongoing theme let's put it this way, during this time where you're trying to get directly to the point. You're trying to get excuse me, you're trying to cut off like all the middlemen. You're trying to cut off like all the BS, and you want to get straight to the problem or to the root of something. And someone continues to kind of want to sideline you, or kind of wants to bring in information, or it may even be other people that are not, how could I put it, that are not bringing any value to whatever the situation is. So a very simple thing is like, let's say if you are married, if you are in a committed relationship, and you and your significant other are having a discussion, right? Or an argument, let's be honest, because a lot of us are still learning to get from that phase of like arguing to discussion. Or maybe you're somewhere in between, right? And you're calling them out on a certain behavior, right? Or they're calling you out on a certain behavior, or whatever it was. And it's like, it's something that has been addressed in the past, right? And then they go like, oh, I'm gonna call my mom, and my mom is gonna tell you I'm not like that. And it's like, your mom is irrelevant in this situation, baby, because your mom wasn't present when the situation occurred, right? Or your dad, or your sister, your brother, whatever it is. So it's kind of like that energy. Or it's almost kind of like maybe you're in a position of management or something, and you're questioning one of your employees, and something that was either documented wrong, or something was off. And now they're bringing up like all of these like degrees that they have and all of this stuff, and you're just like, hey sweetie, no offense, but that's irrelevant. This was done incorrectly, and I need this to be fixed, right? And it's kind of like that's the energy that you're combating this month. And I want you to take a step back as you're facing this energies, right? Because I feel like that it's coming from many different sources. So I want you to take a step back during this time, especially when you start to face these energies, right? And take a moment and sit down, and take a moment and take a couple of deep breaths, right? Whether you want to do it at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, it's really doesn't matter. But I want you to go ahead and allow yourself to just breathe through it, and see, because I feel like this is not necessarily something that you're doing to yourself at this moment in time. This is an energy that a lot of you are outgrowing, right? It's kind of like you're phasing out of this, but it's almost kind of like, I always say, like the way that I see it manifest is like, whenever you are growing a certain energy, it almost kind of like wants to have a last dance with you. And this is kind of like this last dance with this energy, right? Of like all of this BS energy of trying to distract someone or something from the truth, right? Or from the root of an issue, right? Getting to the source of something. So, during this last dance with the energy, there may be things that may surface, right? As to where you used to do this to yourself, right? Where you used to be like, okay, I want to do this, but then you would make all of these excuses, or you would look for all of these excuses as to why you wouldn't be able to do that, right? Even though the source or the root of what you wanted to do was within reach. So this is coming up, and again, it is very weird the way that this energy is like presenting itself, because again, it's not something that you're doing actively in your life. I feel like this is a last dance with this energy, so that as you move forward, this energy doesn't continue to like disturb you or tries to, I want to I'm picking up this energy of chase. Like this energy doesn't have to chase you. And it's kind of funny the way that that feels like, oh, that energy really wants me, right? But seriously, that's the way that it's coming up. So during this time, as you're navigating these situations of miscommunication, be very adamant that you continue to bring, how can I put it? To bring the root issue, right? Or the focus point of the conversation back into play. Do not allow anyone, regardless if it's personal or professionally, to allow you to kind of like deviate from the actual conversation that needs to be had, to address the actual issues or the actual problems or whatever it is that you're trying to address. So you have to really stand firm. You have to really allow your throat chakra to completely kind of like take over. And what I mean by that is when we allow ourselves to really express ourselves from our authentic self, right? There is this compassion and this love that it could be whatever you say, it can be perceived as harsh or whatever. If you're like, let's say, like later on retelling the story to a person, right? They're like, oh my God, you actually said that. And it's like, yeah, and you're like kind of like in disbelief as to why they wouldn't believe you. But at that moment in time when you are expressing something to someone, if you really surrender and lean into that energy of like what spirit is guiding you to say, like if we learn to lean into that, then our message is received the way that it was meant to, right? It is received the way that the spirit wants it to be received, and it is also received in a way that allows kind of like that little tiny cycle or whatever to kind of end between you and a person, right? Or you in a situation, or you in an energy, however you want to say it. Yeah, I love using the word energy a lot because that is the way that I see the world. I can energetically see like these energy cords and all of these lines and all of these channels and things like that. So for me, it is very easy to just use that word because it is what I actually see. Like when I am awake, when I am asleep, when I am meditating, it doesn't really matter. It's just a part of, right? So just kind of like, know that when I'm saying energy, usually this energy is being embodied by a person or by a group of people, especially if you're new here. Just because I kind of feel like some of you, that there seems to be like this new energy within this reading. I don't know why it's coming up that way. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see. Okay. Your disconnect. Okay, so there is this disconnection from. There's a disconnection from either a group of people or like I don't want to say one specific person, because to be honest with you, this is coming up like about like 4 to 6 people. Now, it may be that you are, that's what I want to say. You are currently in a relationship, or, and again, when we talk about relationship, don't be so narrow minded just to think that it's just romantically. If it applies to you romantically, it applies to you romantically. If it applies to you platonic, then that's how it's applied. Or situationship, I just heard. Okay. So let's put it this way. You are in a relationship with somebody, right? And the two of you are having a lot of disagreements in regards to how to either navigate this relationship itself or how to move it forward, right? Do we want to stay where we're at? Okay, this is just coming through. This is going to be specifically for people that are in open relationships, and it's kind of funny because I keep on hearing whether you know it or not. Because the way that this is like stemming out, it's like somebody either wants to close up a relationship, right? Or somebody wants to have the opportunity to open it up for themselves but not for their partner. So this is where this energy of like multiple people are coming in. For those of you that are in an open relationship and you are unaware of it, meaning somebody is cheating on you, I feel you're very much, I am sensing kind of like this energy, like, wow, if I would have known that this is what this person was about, I may have been open to it, but the deceitfulness of like lying and the sneaking behind my back, I can't handle. So for those of you that this situation was something that was done behind your back, etc., you're not partaking in this. You're walking completely away from it. You're not even like listening to the ideas or the propositions or anything like that. For those of you that this is something that you went into willingly with your partner, right? So like the both of you discussed about opening a relationship up to other people. There are very you're kind of like missing the point when it comes to this. So like, not sure if it's because I'm a Capricorn, but a lot of people say that it is, but it's just, I just say it is what it is, right? When I go into any type of relationship, whether they're platonic or romantically, I treat everything as a contract, if that makes sense. And it doesn't mean that there is no love or no compassion or no anything, but there has to be boundaries that the two of you need to be very aware of from the beginning, right? Like, what does cheating look like to you? What does expression of love look like to you, right? What does romance looks like to you? Because what it looks like to one person is not what it looks like to another, right? So you don't have to ask those questions directly, to be honest with you. You can get away with like, oh, what is your dream vacation, right? So like, for some people it's like doing like all of these adventures and sightseeing and all of these things. For other people is spending the day at the beach and partying the entire night. Whereas others like myself, is like, put me in a cabin in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by trees, and in the middle of the woods, a nice little book, nice cup of tea, and I am good for like the next 7 days, right? So when we learn to like really communicate, we learn to see if someone is in alignment with us or not. So for those of you that this relationship wants to open up, there seems to be this parameter or this space where somebody wants to open it up for themselves but not for the other person. And if you're not comfortable with the person that you're seeing opening up the relationship while you just stay at home, then you need to verbalize that. I understand that you love this person and you don't want to lose them and this and that, but then my question to you is, are you willing to lose yourself in order to keep this person? And that is something that you really don't like to see it like that. You're like, oh no, but you don't understand, we've been together for like 20, 15 years, we this, we that. And it's like, okay, baby, again, I'm gonna ask you the question, are you willing to lose yourself to keep somebody around? Because that is exactly what is going to happen when you start to shut your own mouth. Because it's a difference between compromising and literally like just giving up on yourself and your own desires and your own your own view, right, of what a relationship should be. So if you're continuously changing all of who you are, and you're continuously changing your beliefs and your perceptions on relationship to mold the person, like you're molding yourself to be the perfect person for the person that you're with. So this person is not really ever getting to know you. You're robbing yourself of the opportunity of actually being in a loving relationship, and you're robbing that person of really having a chance to actually get to know you and to actually get to love you. So this is where this energy kind of comes in. Like, some of you think that you're compromising, but if when you're sitting down with yourself, you're like, no, this is not me. No, I'm not comfortable with this. Then you really have to ask yourself, what is it that you're doing within this connection? And it is okay to love somebody, and it's okay to want to be with somebody, but not be in alignment with them during this time with where it is that their path is taking them. And a lot of people is like, oh well, what do you know, there's a lot that I personally don't share. I see a lot of beauty when it comes to open relationships when they're done in a way where everybody feels safe, everybody feels secure, everybody feels like they're getting exactly what they need. And what we have to what we have to start to see is that we really shouldn't be judging things so quickly, right? Maybe some of you are interested in an open relationship, and because of the judgment of the people around you when it comes to that, you're kind of like questioning yourself, like, do I really want this? So at the end of the day, you really have to go within yourself, and you really have to silence and shut everything and everyone outside of you, because it's like, again, there is this battle, and we're constantly fighting battles within ourselves, right? We're constantly fighting something within ourselves, whether it's like that little bit of doubt, that little bit of whatever resistance that doesn't want to leave, or whatever it is. And it's like you are in a position at this moment in time to really take advantage of those. And I keep on seeing these little quick moments of silence, these little quick moments of deep breathing, and really getting the clarity that you are searching for almost like instantly. But it is something that you have to actively begin to practice. um so again, let's get this month, make sure that you're standing your ground. Make sure that you are allowing your, like, your throat chakra. I keep on like seeing like the throat chakra and in the color, and it is almost kind of like I'm right now like running my hands down my throat chakra, and it's like, okay, your throat chakra, like there's something very significant this month when it comes to communication, and like really, for some of you, this is balancing out your throat chakra, and for others of you are opening it up completely. And and the difference, the way that they're showing me, and again, this is my own personal interpretation, guys, okay? Opening your chakra is like that, the way that is being presented to me at this time is like that moment when you decide that you are going to allow your authentic self to speak up, to come through. You're no longer going to silence when you have an opinion. You're no longer going to um force yourself to bite your tongue, right? Because you know that if you're being led to say something, spirit is going to come through and your message is going to be received. The other half of you that are dealing with this balancing of it, there seems to be like this these wounds that are coming into focus to heal. Whether it was like, as a child, you were not allowed to ask questions, you weren't allowed to question things, you weren't allowed to speak for yourself, all of these things, like those spaces. And this is going to sound weird, because those of you that are opening up your chakra for the first time, or during this time, it's like you are in the beginning stages. Those of you that are balancing it, I feel that you have been using your voice, and through the process of like really speaking up for yourself, spirit has been showing you and like pinpointing where it is that these restrictions that you had within your own voice were coming from. So like one of the simple things is like I say that I like to surrender into it. I like to lean into things. For years, I mean, I love dancing and all of these things, but I always say like I'm deaf tone, so I very much shy away from singing. And the last couple of like, I'm gonna say like 4 or 5 weeks, I've caught myself singing with like no background music, no anything, and I'm like, whoo, that was inside of me this entire time. And that's kind of like the thing that it is. It's like when you allow yourself to address something directly, right, without putting all of these excuses, or like how we say in Spanish, pero, espérate, pero que esto, when you don't do that and you just surrender and you lean into something, you'll be amazed of how spirit really shows you what is truly inside of you and what you're truly capable of. So, you know, this time of miscommunication, this time of like really speaking up, this time of really staying on target and really staying grounded as you're doing that is going to be something that is going to be very magical for you guys, and it's something that is really going to allow you guys to really continue growing. So do not shy away. Again, even if you want to take a deep breath, whew, before you address something or before you address someone, then go ahead and do it. But know that you're being led by spirit throughout all of these communications that you're having. Alrighty, guys. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card. We're using the Medicine Heart Oracle deck. And now this is a deck that was gifted to me by a very, very lovely client. She's always sending me like these very amazing decks. So let's go ahead and let's pull out one oracle card for Leo, Virgo, Cusp. One, and if you hear that sound, I'm just blowing on my cards, guys. One oracle card. So we have the Dragon's Gate, and I'm going to show you the card, and it's number 6. Look how beautiful that is. I am so in love with this deck. Let's see what the Dragon's Gate have to say for you guys. Now bear with me, because, you know, the light is not lighting right now. It's not as bright in here. Your efforts shall bear bountiful blessed fruits beyond your current expectations. Rest when necessary, but refuse to turn away from your goal out of fear or fatigue. Acknowledge how far you have come, and you will gain confidence in your capabilities to go even further on your path. Trust the inner urges to venture forth towards your heart's calling. Although you cannot yet see it, you are close to crossing a significant threshold, overcoming a long-standing obstacle, and experiencing an irreversible liberation. What your heart seeks within is within reach. Do not give up. So again, a lot of you is kind of like this energy of like your biggest struggle. Excuse me. Your biggest struggle during this time, or most of the struggles during your journey, may have been your throat chakra, and this is why the for this particular time, whether it's for the next month, this, you know, when I make these videos, I usually try to make them once a month. Sometimes these energies, um you know, come and go within 2 weeks. And maybe that's because the last reading may have stayed for 6 weeks. You understand what I mean? Like, this currency that I kind of follow, this energy field that I personally follow. So sometimes it may be 4 weeks, sometimes it's going to be 3 weeks. It really depends on what spirit tells me get up and start recording, right? So but there is this sense like during this phase, right, you're really breaking free, right? Remember we're talking about like these energies like to always have a last dance before they're out the door. Well, this energy of like miscommunication really wants to have a last dance with you before it's out the door, to really allow you to activate that throat chakra of yours, guys. Don't shy away from it. I feel like a lot of you are really going to lean into this and are really going to be like, let me see what's in here. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful journey. Um, as always, guys, thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.